Crypto Dough. Welcome on into another episode of Crypto Dough, and today's we're talking about this government shutdown, which can lead to a crypto meltdown. Now, the way I see it is the government ain't never shutting down, and crypto may never melt down. I think it's what they've been doing for years and years upon years. Now, I think that the market will get affected based on these tariffs. So, I'm going to talk about that today. What's causing Bitcoin to go down by 2%, and it ultimately going down, I believe, to $73,000. Why that is because President Trump just announced today that he's taxing EU on wine and alcoholic beverages. He's taxing them on wine and alcoholic beverages, and that's 200% tariff tax. See, they send all their things over here, and we don't tax them at all, right? We said, come on in. You can sell whatever you want to our consuming customers, right? Because we're the largest consumption in the world. That may be what we produce. We produce consumers. That's due to change, right? And it's going to raffle a little bit of feathers to say, hey, how about you sell that to your own clients? Let's see if they buy it. They're probably not in the situation to buy it. So you're going to send it on over to the United States, where you know that we have the working class, we have the income class, taxes, we have all those type of things, and people are generally going to buy those items, right? That's what make America so unique compared to any other place. So I think that we have the upper hand throughout all of these things because, yeah, you can make your product, but if you don't have any consumers to buy your product, then what's the point of creating your product? So let's get into it. But before I get into it, the only thing I ask you guys to do is smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Give me the 10,000 subs. That's all I ask. I am Crypto Dough. I've been doing this for well over 6 years. I want to share everything that I know with you guys so together we can go further than Wells Fargo. That's the point of this. I want to learn and grow together and create a niched community that does the same, that have the same intent. We just want to grow. We want to learn. We want to learn about Bitcoin. We want to learn about crypto. We want to learn how to turn crypto into some dough, into some bread. And, you can feed your family. You can have generational wealth, all those type of things. You can be part of the money transfer and what's going on. And then ultimately, you could take your crypto, you could take your dough, and then buy some precious metals like gold and silver. So just in case everything goes down the drain, at least you will have your conversion on gold and silver and everything else, right? Because that's my ultimate plan. Is to convert most of this. 75% of this may have a small bag in crypto in the near future, but a nice hefty bag that's going to be worth millions. But at the same time, still live in reality and have those God-made metals like gold and silver and copper and land, food, anything along that nature, a network of people that's doing the same thing. That's the ultimate plan around here. Okay, so let's check out Bitcoin. And then we also want to talk about Scott Bennett, right? So we got a few things, and I have to read an article about the wine taxes, wine and spirits and alcoholic beverages. Okay, so let's check out the market real quick. The coin market cap. The market right now, Bitcoin is at 81,000. On the day, it's down 1.22%. In 7 days, it's down by about 7%. In a month, it's down about 15%, right? So you can see that it's on a downtrend. In a year, of course, it's up. When you zoom out, it's up about 11% in a year. Okay, that's Bitcoin. So now let's go down to, we're going to move that off the screen, and then we're going to go to let's talk about these wine taxes, right? Because everyone loves to indulge. And let's talk about the tariffs. And this is why they're talking about a government shutdown at 12 o'clock Friday night, which is now currently 2:22 in the a.m. Eastern time. It is 2:22 Eastern time. So we're here on Friday. So watch midnight tonight. I think they have to decide if they're going to shut down the government or not. I believe that they're not. It's always just a scare. But at the end of the day, the market is going to maybe have a nosedive and or have a small little rally depending on what they do. And what's going on with these different tariffs, because the tariffs was announced Thursday, which is today, well, which was yesterday. And sometimes when they announce these things, it takes a couple of days for it to hit the market. So you may announce something Monday, next Monday, which you announced last Monday may hit the market, because it takes time to digest, just like anything you do on the internet. I may make a video today and a lot of people may not see it until later on. So smash that like button. Let me know who's in here, what crypto you guys have, and why you own these cryptos, and what do you think about these tariffs, and how is it affecting your portfolio? And do you believe that the government is going to shut down? I don't believe it's going to shut down, but I want to know what you guys think. And if the government shut down, how does that affect crypto? Because like I say, everything is interconnected. So let's read this article real quick. And this one is by D. Han. I'm going to leave the link inside of the description for the article. Let me do that right now. Give me a moment. Check out the Uphold link. I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat as well. And it's going to be under source. I like to give credit when credit's due. So wherever I get my sourcing from, you guys can, because I'm not going to read the entire article. You guys can go back and do your due diligence and read the article, but the homework is already done for you. You just got to click the tab in the description called source. Also, while you're in the description, hit the protect your assets link, get you a ledger, hit the Coinbase link, get you some crypto. I have the crypto.com, the Uphold link, because I noticed different brokerage have different cryptos that I like, that I use. So I try to make sure that at least if you're using the discount, you get some form of, at least if you're using the link, you get some form of discounts. Okay, so let's get into the article. The United States is suddenly looking less bubbly for European wines. That's a great intro. President Donald Trump on Thursday threatened a 200% tariffs on European wine, champagne, and spirits if the European nation goes forward with a planned 50% tariff on American whiskey. Okay. So you're spending 50% on American whiskey, and that doesn't make sense. Y'all sell more of y'all products in the United States than we sell over there. So anyway, y'all have to do better. Wine sellers and importers said a tariff of that size would essentially shut down the European wine business in the United States. And that's what he's trying to do. See, Trump is not playing, he's playing hardball. You don't have the time to play, because you got to think about it. They've been getting away with making money in the United States for years. Under the Biden administration, they wasn't charging these people nothing to bring anything across the border. The only thing they was bringing across the border to me was illegal immigrants, right? And I'm for, because I'm a foreigner myself and I migrated here, but I did it the correct way. I'm for doing things the correct way. The illegal way, that's something else, right? That is literally something else. I'm not for that. Okay, I don't think customers are prepared to pay 2 or 3 times more for their favorite wine or champagne. Ronnie Sanders, the CEO of Vine Street Imports in Mount Laurel Township, New Jersey, said. Jeff Zachariah, president of the wine retailer Zach's in Port Chester, New York, said 80% of the wine he sells is from Europe. Importers depend on European wines for a big part of their distribution system. He said there's not enough U.S. wine to make up for that. Okay. There is just going to be a major negative impact on the whole United States wine industry in all aspects if it including U.S. wineries, he said. Okay. Zachariah said there are so many unknowns right now. He stopped buying European wine until the picture becomes clear. That kind of makes sense. It's very hard to make preparation when, as a business, you don't have a clear path forward, he said. Our preparation will be very different if it's 200% compared to 100% compared to 10%. That's very much so true. That is very much so true. I think that as far as you're a small business owner, it is going to affect you, right? And you might ask, a crypto dough, why are you talking about wine on the channel? Because everything is interconnected, right? This will lead, these tariffs, I'm just giving you guys the latest tariffs, because these tariffs will lead to crypto price ultimately taking a dip. Wine and spirits from the 27th nation, European Union, made up 17% of the total consumed in the U.S. in 2023. According to IWSR, a global data and insight provider specializing in alcohol, of that 17%, Italy accounted for 7%, mostly from wine, and French wine, cognac, and vodka accounted for 5%. Overall, the U.S. imports much more alcohol than it exports. That makes sense. I think one of our superpowers is imports. The $26 billion worth of foreign produced alcohol, $26 billion worth of foreign produced alcoholic beverages that entered the country in 2022 accounted for 14% of all U.S. agriculture imports. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the U.S. exported $3.9 billion worth of beer, wine, and distilled spirits that year. Okay, that's good to know with the wine industry. You guys can read the rest of that. Now let's go to Scott and let's see what's going on with Scott.
Well, let's start right there because Carl just went through the markets. It's another sort of turbulent day here. The volatility has really picked up. We're down another more than 3.5% for the week, almost 10% from the recent highs. I know that you guys have brushed this off, but I do wonder if you're starting to get concerned now that these losses are picking up.
Well, look, Sarah, what we're focused on is we're focused on the real economy. Can we create an environment where there are long-term gains in the market and long-term gains for the American people? I think, having been in the markets for 35 years, I know the market is prone to big unwinds like this. I think we've seen a lot of position unwinding, and I can't really speak to that.
I guess, and this has been consistent with your view, but 62% of Americans own stocks. I mean, it's near 20-year high. So how can the White House not be concerned about hardworking Americans' 401k plans?
Look, Sarah, I didn't say we're not concerned. I'm not concerned about a little bit of volatility over 3 weeks, because if you look over the long term, the reason stocks are a safe and great investment is because you're looking over the long term. If you start looking at micro horizons, stocks become very risky. So we are focused over the medium long term. And I can't tell you that the market is going to go up today, tomorrow, next week. But I can tell you that if we put proper policies in place, it's going to lay the groundwork for both real income gains and job gains and continued asset gains.
Understood that you're focused on the long term, and part of it is these tariffs, but now there's concerns about a possible government shutdown. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer saying the Democrats are going to reject a government funding bill. We have this deadline tomorrow night. What is your expectation, Mr. Secretary, and how destructive would this be?
Well, it'd be incredibly disruptive. And look, Sarah, I know you said you've been in Singapore all week, but I think the underreported story since January 20th and of the past few weeks is this incredible Republican unity and this Democratic disarray. That we've seen Speaker Johnson get through with President Trump's help a tax bill, get it over the Senate. We saw a clean CR bill. And if Senator Schumer wants to reject it, hurt the American people, close down the government, and they're going to own any of the problems that go with it, including economic slowdown. And if this is all they got, then they ought to regather and think about what they're doing to the American people and the economy.
You do think that a shutdown would cause economic harm?
It can't be good.
Yeah, I mean, look, the market's been really focused on tariffs, Mr. Secretary, and it's been
And like I tell you guys, right, I wanted to go over this video with Scott real quick because The government is supposed to shut down on Friday night. I doubt that. I doubt that. They've been playing the same riddles for games. It's just that the Democrats right now, they don't really have any strength, so they're willing to do whatever to disrupt the economy just for their benefit. But I think the Republicans will have majority vote anyway, so it's just the talk of the town. And like Scott said, why pay attention to the micro, right, data when we need to pay attention to the macro data? See, the thing I notice about the market is they get their reports every quarter, which is every 3 months, basically, right? They have 4 reports a year every 3 months. How can you measure progress like that? That's like me looking at trading view and saying, hey, I'm gonna look at the movements for the day, the hours, the week, the month. Those are different data points, which means you can see different things. I think if we change our measurement system up and actually zoom out, right? Because there's a lot of fear in the market, right? Zoom out and you'll be surprised what you see. Yes, the S&P is going down. It has went down today. Bluke, what's going on, Bluke? Bluke said that S&P 500 went down. When should we buy? I will hold off on buying, or if it went down, that's a good thing. It means you dollar DCA. What does DCA means? Your dollar cost average. I can't give you financial advice. Do I think that it's going to go down a little bit more? Of course, because y'all got to understand we're going through this controversial period with these tariffs, right? And the reason why we're going through these controversial things with these tariffs is because you got to understand it like this. We haven't taxed anyone. I apologize. We haven't taxed anyone for them to sell our products inside the United States as much as they're taxing us to send our products, to export our goods over to them while they import their goods to us, right? We haven't done that. So the fact that we're finally starting to do that is letting them know who's really in control. To me, the consumers have powers. If things are too high, you know what the consumer's going to do? They're simply not going to buy it. So if consumers aren't going to buy the things that you're producing, do you know what that does for you? You're not going to manufacture it. So the name of the game is the art of negotiation, which is the art of war, right? Like I tell people, we're actually in war right now, but it's more of an economical warfare. That's the proxy right now. It's not physical clash, boom, boom, bang, bang, guns, bombs. You can do all different sorts of war. Right now, we're doing the price negotiation. We're doing, hey, this is a tariff war right now, right? This is more of an economical standpoint. Hey, let's play fair. And I kind of like what Trump is doing now. Do it affect us in the short term? Yes. I think in the long term, it's going to be more beneficial, right? But in the short term, it will be a lot of turbulence because we have never done this before. We've done it before, but we haven't done this in well over 30, 40, 50 years. So actually playing the tariff playbook, to me, is kind of smart for the United States in the long run. Will egg prices go up? Of course. But under his administration, it's actually going down. It don't matter who's president. Look at it like this, because people just want to blame Trump for everything, right? They need someone to blame, right? They can't take action on their own self. They need someone to blame. Trump, I look at it like this. It don't matter who was president. America has been facing inflation since I was a kid. I came to America when I was 8 years old, right? Every year things go up, no matter who's president. And the question would then be, well, what's the problem? The problem isn't who's sitting in the seat, Democrats or Republicans. No, that's a game that they're playing. The ultimate problem is the fiat system. The fiat system is designed to bend you over, right? And thrust you at rapid speeds with different velocity. That's what the fiat market is assigned to do, which is the currency that we all work for. See, it's technology to me embedded in the fiat currency that keeps one broke, that keeps one keep going back for more, not knowing that you're not really getting anywhere, right? You would then have to move your money and make it current. If you understand currency, you have the underlying word in currency is current. Current means to keep things moving. If you don't keep your money moving and your money is sitting still, you're losing money every day, even when you sleep. You're losing money. So what if you're holding an asset, or it can be a liability, right? In this case, that's actually it isn't debasing, it's debasing, it's losing value, right? And then it's getting hit with inflation, and then it's getting hit with taxes. So it's getting hit like in 3 different ways. This is why I like crypto. Because at least you're investing in things that could potentially, especially the utility, right? That can actually gain in value. Something like Bitcoin, it gains in value over the long run, and the value actually supersedes the taxes and the rate of debasement. It have to go over 13-14% in order for you to get profit. That's why when I look at some of these things, they say 10% a year, you yield 10% a year. I'm like, you're barely above water. Like, you're still in the deep end. 10% a year, when you got the debasement and taxes, you need at least break 14%, 15%. You need to break that. That's an even. After that, you need to gain profit. So you need to add at least another 10% to that. This is why I like Bitcoin, because at least Bitcoin go up by 29%. So at least you beating the rate of inflation and debasement at the same time. So you're literally making money while you sleep over a long period of time. Now, is the crypto market volatile? If you zoom in, of course. Anything that you zoom into can be very volatile, especially if you're judging it on different increments, seconds to minutes to hours to days to months to years. I like to zoom out and look at things in the long term. That creates less anxiety. That creates a better way of doing things. So yes, Luke, the S&P 500 went down. When should you buy? You can buy a little bit now. You can buy a little bit later. Zoom out when in doubt, and you will see what's going on. You will see what's going on. Okay, let's continue.
Another sort of up and down ride this week. A lot of uncertainty among business leaders. This morning, President Trump threatened a 200% tariff on Europe on wines, champagnes, and alcoholic products coming out of France and other EU countries. And I do wonder how that comes to be. Was this premeditated? Did you know about this? As this is in retaliation to what Europe did, in retaliation to the steel and aluminum tariffs, but 200%?
Look, I was with the Business Roundtable yesterday. I think it was 135 CEOs, and I talked to them about our plan, which includes tariffs, deregulation, and what I call reprivatizing the government, and bringing down this incredible level of government spending. And one or two items with one trading block, I'm not sure why that's a big deal for the markets.
Correct.
I think that the big deal for the market is just the not knowing what's next and what the target is necessarily going to be, and also not knowing where this stops. Because
no one know where this stops, man. You don't understand how economic works. They don't know where to stop because it's called negotiation. They might push back and say, look, we're going to retaliate on the tariffs, and we're going to EU might say, okay, 75%, 100%. We're going to see who's going to win at the end of the day. You may have to cut back on alcohol. It's not good for you anyway. It's not good for you. You may have to cut back on that. That's totally okay. That's totally fine.
We ratchet up tariffs, they retaliate, we go higher, then what?
Well, look, it could go the other way too. Look, that's the nature of these reciprocal tariffs. That all President Trump is asking is for countries to take theirs off. So we have identified some strategic industries, the steel, aluminum, likely autos, but everything else is up for grabs, and that's going to be a decision that's made by our trading partners.
Well said.
Yeah, that was one of my questions, which is how these tariffs come off, if that is ultimately the goal, because it feels like once they go on, it just gets out of control from there.
Well, again, that's a decision by our trading partners if they want to ratchet things up. And I could tell you, as somebody who's studied the history of this, it is the surplus country that takes the greatest hit. We have a big trade deficit with these countries. So in the event that there's a back and forth with
much love, Luke. Much love to you, brother. Much love. Much love to you, Crypto Doe. Thank you for your channel and teaching people what you know. I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you have a good day, a good night, or a good morning, depending on where you're from on the earth, the four corners of the earth. And the reason why I give these updates is because, we got to go down to the micro to let people know, hey, I get that most people are panicking and thinking about the market crashing and all of that, but understand, I've been trading for a while and or investing for a while, right? So I understand the first initial feelings. After you get past the market and you see the patterns that's going on, it's all repeated patterns. They say they're going to shut things down, nothing gets shut down. They say they're going to do this, they're going to do this. It's a frenzy. Nothing really happens. The only thing that I want to make sure you guys do is actually gain profit while all these things are happening at the same time, right? By either looking to see what you need to invest in, looking to see, well, what's the new project, what's the update, anything along that nature. So Luke, I appreciate you for attending. I appreciate everyone. On that note, let's continue the show.
Tariffs, I would counsel these government leaders that they are on the losing side of this argument economically.
Turn your best idea.
What you mentioned the business roundtable that you attended yesterday. What did you hear from CEOs on this issue? How much frustration or nervousness is there?
Look, I think that we were always going to have a transition from this incredible, unsustainable level of government spending that we had. I think last week I called it a detox. And generally, they're very supportive of that. And we're going to have a transition. We are going to delever the government and relever the private sector, both through the regulated banking system and through industrial deregulation. They were very excited about that. And the one thing in terms of certainty that everyone was the main topic is the tax bill. And we're working on that every day. I had a meeting with the Senate, House leadership, and the Kevin Hassett from the...
Talking about the tax bill, they say this is one thing that they're proposing with the tax bill as well. They also stating that if you make under $150,000, then it can be considered tax-free. I think that's a good start. Now, it may be a rumor or it could be a trumor. It all depends. But they're actually headed into the right direction. $150,000, the average person makes $50,000 in the United States. So you're telling me that the money that they're actually making will be tax-free, which means it's more money that's going to be circulated into the United States. You get it? Taxes don't do anything but destroy a community to me. It do more harm than it does help, because when you're doing these taxes and you're fixing the roads and you're doing this and you're doing that, but how much does it really take? What happens to the money that's left over? It goes into the political party realm and or their pockets. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Let's watch a couple more minutes of this, and then I'm going to get off of this topic real quick.
White House yesterday. So that's moving forward nicely. And I'm confident that that's on track. We're not going to have the biggest tax hike in history on Jan 1. We're shooting to get this done this summer, and I think that's going to provide a lot of certainty for American households and for industry.
I definitely want to get to that in your meeting and where that's going on Capitol Hill with the tax cuts. But just while we're on trade and the response from corporate America, when you say that when we're in a period of detox, you used that word on CNBC last week, is that a euphemism for recession?
Not at all. It doesn't have to be, because it'll depend on how quickly the baton gets handed off. Our goal is to have a smooth transition. But I tell you, Sarah, the easy thing for us to have done would have been to come in and just keep this massive spending level going. And it's unsustainable, but could we have kept it going for a year, 2 years, maybe even 4?
Yes.
Maybe, but you're risking a financial calamity. So, we are trying to get this tax bill done. We are controlling expenses. And when we get the tax bill done, so if you can change the trajectory, up revenues, up economic growth, hold expenses flat, or do the unthinkable and cut expenses, then that's a pretty good trajectory.
I must agree. Now, Blue said, I need to petition no taxes for crypto or stocks. And I think that's the petition that's coming on next, Blue. Crypto, especially if it's made in the United States, they're trying to, I believe that they proposed a bill. It hasn't been passed yet through Senate or anything. It has to go through the parliament, right? Which is a process. Which can actually boost the crypto space and stocks. But I think they're going to focus on cryptos and then maybe do no income taxes. No income taxes is actually beneficial because it's going to lead more money into more money to circulate into the United States financial realm. On that note, guys, I left the video. This video is quite extensive. I left the video inside of my source link if you want to watch the rest of the video. I appreciate everyone for tuning on in today. Make sure you smash that like button. You subscribe to the channel. Hit those links and hit the bell notification as well. On that note, buckle up. Crypto Dough, it is time to take off in 5, 4, 3.